This morning is very wet and dreary. We had another inch and a half of rain. This is Thursday morning. We had another inch and a half of rain. Started Tuesday evening. Kind of showered off and on Tuesday overnight and all day yesterday on Wednesday. And this morning's really foggy. They're saying it's supposed to clear out and get a little nicer this afternoon. But we have two hay fields over here across the road. They're grass hay fields. They're a little smaller. That one field's kind of got a lot of wet spots in it. Kind of in behind, used to be my mom's house, and now my youngest son lives there. And the other field over here, yeah, there wouldn't be the nicest fields to try to row crops. We always keep them in grass hay, but we got them made there last week. We were able to mow them on Saturday and got them baled and wrapped them there on Monday. It would have never been weather to get them dry, but I'm glad we got them done. We were talking about it being so dry earlier on there, but now here in the month of May, we had rated 8 inches of rain. It's just kind of crazy. It's been one of the most abnormal springs so far. But we were so dry there earlier on, and yeah, we'd get a little bit of rain and then it would blow up and get windy and dry everything right back off. And I mean, we got enough rain along to make fairly good small grain, thankfully. Some of our triticale, the earliest we cut was maybe a little shorter because it was dry, but then we started getting rain and we cut the later triticale, and our first cut in hay, it made a bumper crop. So, but yeah, I'm thankful for the rain to get everything growing and to get the water reservoir filled back up. Right here at the end of our freestall barn, we have a reception pit where the alley scrapers drop the manure down into a pit. I think the pit's 4 feet wide and 8 feet deep, and it's probably, I don't know, 40 feet long, 40 feet long. And then there's a pump in there that pumps it out twice a day, kicks on by a clock automatically, or a timer starts it. And yeah, we had some piping here, fencing around the edges, or around it along the front. The alley scraper has to go back in underneath it and drop it into that pit, but we got to keep something here to keep the cows from getting in it too. So the old piping we had here was still original from new, and it was in bad shape. We had re-welded it a couple times, and so today we redid it, and we got to get back in that corner there. That's where our electric control panels are, and we need to fill the valves to fill the weigh tanks up, or the weigh trough out of the tank, sorry. We put a little 4-foot gate here. We used to just crawl through the pipe, but we put a little 4-foot gate here with a spring-loaded latch. We can slip in between there now and get in and out of there. So hopefully it'll all work out. We tried to make this bottom pipe removable. I'm not sure if it's going to work out or not. We used a 2-inch galvanized pipe, but we stuck 1.5 inches, welded it tight to the pipe or the post. Then we drilled a hole through and stuck a bolt. I want to get a different pin, but that's all we had for now. And then over at this side, we had a bigger sleeve, the next size bigger pipe, and to slide it in. Like very rarely, but every now and then a cow will get stuck in under there. And we kept the pipe out a good 6-8 inches past it. Maybe we should have kept it out a little bit farther, but the biggest problem we have, if a cow ever gets hurt up here or has some other issues and they go down and the alley scraper can pull them, and we very rarely have trouble with that. Anyway, we tried to make that bottom pipe removable if we ever needed to use it. I haven't did much of our Springer pen here for a little while. We've been having a lot of fresh cows recently, cows and heifers. We've been having a lot of heifers calve, and which is a good thing. We had 10 born in the last 2 days. And out of the 10, I think 7 of them were heifer calves. So bull calf price is really high, so we're thankful for the bull calves that we get too. So, but yeah, we need heifers for replacements as well. So everybody's doing fine and not having any trouble, so we're thankful for that. Yeah, we do sell some springers from time to time, but we decided to pull out some older cows that, not really problem cows, but maybe cows that were a little light in a quarter, or 1 or 2 that were maybe a little kicky. We had a heifer here that had calved early, probably 4 or 5 months ago, and she was doing okay, but milking, but she always kicked her milker off when she was about half done. It's like, you know what, we might as well sell some of them meat price is high as it is and our cow price is high, we'll make out better doing that and have a lot nicer cows.
We got these from our neighbors. They raise pigs for other people. And so we'll grow them up. So this year we got some other colors.
A couple neighbor guys that do raise pigs, we always get them from them. They always grow pretty good. Yeah, whenever we start them, they give us a little bit of the feed that they had them on, and so we put them on a pig starter, swine starter, and sprinkle a little bit of that on top, and they usually do pretty well.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We obviously don't know too much about herding pigs.
Yeah, we do.
We know a lot, huh? We know you pick them up and put them in the... I don't have to use that.
Huh?
I said I don't have to use that.
Come on, pigs.
Go on.
Your buddies are in the shed.
What do you think, Penny?
I see fresh meat.
They always get all wound up about the pigs. Teddy hasn't seen them yet. Oh, he quit hollering. They have this outside pen here, but then as soon as they would get up here to the door to go in here, they wouldn't come in. And we have some straw, and their feet are sitting in here. Anyhow, they wouldn't come in the door, but now once they're in here, then they're perfectly fine.
This morning is Sunday morning, June the 1st. I milked this morning, so I was scraping up here and giving our dry cows and red heifers away. Here's one of our corn fields. Our earliest corn we planted is about knee-high here. I don't know if we've ever had corn knee-high by the 1st of June. I'll try to get some video of that, but this was planted about 2 weeks after that, so it's probably about the second week, about 3 weeks ago probably. Yeah, something like that. And we've had a lot of rain, but we had decent weather in between, and man, this stuff is just moving on. Our month of May is officially the wettest May ever on record. So that's just, yeah, kind of crazy going from being as dry as we were all fall and kind of all winter into the spring, and now we had, I think we're at about 8.5 to 9 inches, somewhere in between there. I didn't hear the official count for the local town here, but from what I was keeping track of, that's what we had. Yeah, it's Sunday evening here. I always go do a last check on the springers and come up to the freestall barn, just make sure everything's okay up here before we go to bed. And so yeah, it's always kind of neat. Everything's kind of calm and peaceful up here. It's kind of chilly this evening. I don't know if it's barely 50 degrees or something, not much more than that. It's supposed to get down in the 40s here overnight. Then it's supposed to really start warming up this week. There's always something about the peace and quiet. Everything's just kind of calm up here and not a lot of commotion. The cows are just either laying, chewing their cuds, or up eating, or Some of them you can't really see it, but over in that corner there's some over there drinking whey. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of nosy ones here. Kind of like, what are you hanging around here for so long about? Usually I come up here and just check them and leave.
It's evening out here right now, and I came out to feed my 2 little bottle babies. And yeah, you can hear the rain. It's raining. But here's the cute part. This is what the babies do. Like there ain't, oh, one of them got away. But these babies, like, we have like these boards here along the outside, and over the years the fodder, straw, everything got piled up in there, and it makes it perfect for the babies. They can just crawl up there and lie. And usually they line up. There's usually more than this. But, and then there's 4 brown babies. You can't see them as good because it's kind of dark out. Hey, go, Hissy. Everybody's kind of fussing. They got plenty of food, and I even gave them some hay, and they still would just act like they're starving, and they're really not. Still waiting on that white goat to have her babies. There's 1 or 2 more that needs to have babies yet. I'm not sure drawing a blank about which one it is.
This is the first day we're planting with our new air seed drill. We're planting a mixture of sorghum and sudex here in this field. And about 24 acres in this field. It's a slate land field, and it's double cropped after we took triticale off. And we'd get a lot of rain, corn would do all right, but most years this field's a little mediocre to start with. So. As far as the row units on it, they're about identical to our old grain drill. This is just a wider, and it's an air seeder drill, so yeah. Should be able to plant a lot faster with this. Yeah, well, here where we come out from feeding our springers and turn around here with the mixer wagon, there's a couple spots where the concrete's starting to break up and give away, and some of this would be old concrete from years and years ago. And we redid a little bit of it here coming out the end the other year when we rebuilt or added on to here. But yeah, it's looking like we should have redid a little more. But anyway, we're breaking that out here today. We just started over here. We're gonna do a couple sections in through here where it's breaking out, and then there's another spot or 2 over here. Right here's a whole big section right here, about 10 foot around. If you look closer, you can just see how the concrete's all cracking up. And like I said, some of this concrete would have been here for years and years, probably before my time even, or when I was little maybe. And then over here when we built this dry cow barn, we finished pouring over to meet this. And so yeah, there's a bunch of this. It's all newer concrete, but there is one other spot over here, right in here. It's breaking up too. I think there's 3 different spots here we're gonna have to tear out and re-pour. So, but yeah, we'll try to do a little video of that. It's we're breaking it out here today. We got concrete lined up to come tomorrow morning at 10:30. It's supposed to get really hot tomorrow, but at least we'll have this all done before it gets too crazy hot, I think. So that sure will be nice. We got all the spots cleaned up here, and yeah, we have a jackhammer on the front of our skid loader. We busted it all up and dug it out, and then we took the bucket of the skid loader, just put the regular bucket on the skid loader and dug out what we could. And we went the whole way around all the edges, cleaning it up. And yeah, some of the edges there look a little bit jagged, but that's just kind of the way it is. It's either that or buy a concrete saw. But for what we're using this for, it's just here where we drive the mixer wagon around. So we got to get some concrete wire and throw in here yet and clean the edges up just a little bit more. And yeah, whenever we go to pour, we'll spray the edges good with water, and that helps the new concrete bond a little better with the old concrete. There's 4 spots, 3 of them are pretty good size, and then there's one smaller one down here. But if I did on my figure night, we're gonna probably pour it about an average of 6 inches thick, because it's an area where we run the mixer wagon across. Some spots might be thicker than that, but hopefully we got everywhere at least 6 inches thick. And so it's gonna take a whole truckload, around 10 and a half yard. You never know what you're gonna get into in a day's work. We were over here today, or my son was planting sorghum in here, and he got stuck. And I didn't even think about doing a video whenever he was stuck. I should have did that, but man, he made some serious ruts. I had to come over with the tractor. There's actually 2 places. This field gets springs in it, and we noticed there was a little moisture here, but it didn't look that bad. Usually we can go right through it. And so yeah, I don't know, but man, it's sunk her in. But anyhow, we planted the rest around it, and we'll have to fix that up this fall with probably the skid loader tractor. Just grade it off again and work it a couple times. It'll be all right. But yeah, other than that, the field is really good. There was this spot and then one other spot up here that was really bad. I'll see if I can go up and get a video of that. It's one thing in our area here with our limestone ground, it all drains really good, and we almost never get wet spots in that. But this slate land, it's something else. You can get a spring open up on top of a hill, or halfway up a hill, and yeah. I mean, this is a crazy thing. We just chopped this field 10 days ago, and they hauled manure in here, and we weren't making ruts then, but I guess we would have got another ½ an inch since that, but I don't know why it did so bad. But yeah, right over here's the other spot he got stuck at there in that hollow. It was a little bit wet up through there, and then you see those 2 spots when we were mowing the triticale, we had to go around on up there farther. But anyway, other than that, the field's good, and they're talking about a little more rain here till the weekend. We were like, well, to get these wet spots dried up, we'd probably have to wait 2 weeks, the way as wet as it is, and that would be if it didn't rain anymore. So we decided to get in, plant what we can, and go around the wet spots. If it does dry off, there's a chance we might come back and go through some of these spots and put some in later, but if it don't dry off, the rest of it's in. Here's our one cornfield. This is probably not, this isn't the tallest we got, but it's just about, yeah, it's right about knee high and doing very, very well. Yeah, we're finally getting some heat this week. Today was up around 80. The next couple of days is going to be in the low 80s. And yeah, it's starting to move on. Probably another 10 days to 2 weeks, this stuff will be shaded over, and then it'll be, that helps a lot when it gets shaded over to help hold the moisture. This field of corn out here is probably our nicest corn so far. This is out here where we cleared that land out 2 years ago. Well, the pasture where we cleared all the rocks and trees out. And up over the ridges there, it was, with all the rain we had, there's some clay, more clay soil there. It needs some heat and sunshine. It's not doing quite as good there, but yeah, down here in the field, I mean, it is tremendous looking for only being the 1st of June. Yeah, it's well above knee high here, probably close to 24 inches on average. Yeah, we used our new grain drill for the first time the other day. On Tuesday, I guess it was, Willie planted some sorghum. Everything's working pretty good on it. That weight bar that he made mainly for the corn planter, when he's going up hills, if he's loaded full of fertilizer, he said before he had that weight bar, the front end about come off the ground sometimes, or got light for sure. And I think there was a time or two he said that actually when he slowed up a little bit and went to take off, it just, yeah, they come up off the ground some. But anyhow, our corn planter has a precision planting on it, and the guy that rebuilt our corn planter for us last year helped Willie get everything hooked up, that he's running this drill off that same precision planter monitor. So it's working out pretty good, and we're pretty happy with it so far. Yesterday we were pouring some concrete, and we had made up a weight for on the front of our big tractor that we plant with. And yeah, my son made a boxing out of plywood and some lumber around here, and made a weight bar for on the front of it, or he welded up a frame, and then yeah, we poured full of concrete. And yeah, he wants to clean up the corners a little bit and then paint it, so should turn out and work pretty good. If we figured up the weights and everything right, it should be approximately 1,500 pounds with everything that's in it. Here's a calf that's hot out of the press. Yeah, I seen she was calving here a little bit ago, and I came back to check her, and she just pushed it out. Yeah, her mothering instincts kicked in. She stood up and turned around, starting to lick it off. It's a little bit dark here from this angle, but if I move around the other way a little more, I'm afraid I'll scare her. So the concrete truck just got here, so we're getting ready to get started. Got all the wire in and got it ready. We always make it wet around the edges, and then it bonds a lot better. Kind of cleans it up, and it'll almost needs a little bit more water with it. I don't know. We got to pull some back here. We got to pull a little bit back there. I should have. Well, we had a little bit of concrete left. down there where we poured. It was a little hard to figure exactly how much we needed because there was nothing real square, and I certainly didn't want to run out. And I was figuring on it about 6 inches thick on average, and some places probably wasn't quite that thick, but most of it would have been. And then, so yeah, he got done. He said, oh, he's got about 2 yards left, 1.5 yards to 2 yards. We came up here to the freestall barn, right where we pull into the freestall barn to start unloading the mixer. And we always have trouble with it getting kind of walled out there, and dug a bunch of the slate and stones out and poured a slab there, so that should make it a lot nicer there. Anyway, we're all done now. Sure is nice to have this all done.
We have baby goats everywhere. And right here, she finally decided to have her baby. Well, as fat as she is, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have some more. But yeah, I don't know if you can hear her. This white goat, she is so round. I don't know if she's gonna have any more or not, but we'll wait and see. But she had one baby. She always has white babies, and she always has billies. So I hope this is a nanny. Don't know. He's trying to stand up. Brand new. The rest of these noisy folks. He's getting a good bath. Oh, it almost got up. First steps. Seriously, it's a nanny. Finally, after how many years? She always had billies. Has some brown on its back.